I'd also like to point out that you're kind of a pioneer. And I'm just saying, I know you don't like to hear that, but you are. I mean, in terms of, you got out of college softball because you knew you had to do something different. You weren't sure what that was yet. You followed your curiosity into trying to understand your own injuries and why they happened, and you went down that rabbit hole, and here you are now, and you did something with us, putting together the pitching program, which I think it forced a lot of people to think. And I've gotten emails, and I know people have talked to you. It's like, wow, in the 20 years I've been coaching softball, like I never knew about this and how important it was. And just being able to ask questions about why is this continuing to happen and how can I prevent it? And here's a program that we can put in place that could help pitchers have a longer career with less injury. I mean,
I mean, you think back to our conversations, like almost probably 10 years ago now, as we're both in the coaching worlds, and maybe realizing that that wasn't entirely where our passions were, and our passions in the sport. I don't think either one of us knew where our passion in the sport was at that point.
yeah.
We knew somewhere in the sport, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
same thing, somewhere in the sport. But what is the sport? Where is it now that I'm not an athlete anymore? And it was, I mean, I do have to say it's been a hard journey, because it's really easy to fall into the trap of like, I'll just do more lessons, and that puts food on the table, and it pays your rent, and all of that, and sometimes you have to be willing to say to athletes, like, I don't know right now, I don't know why I can't fix that, but I'm going to try to figure out why. And so there was a fear in the beginning of telling my kids that, like, I don't think me coaching you is helping anymore. I need to go a different route and figure something out, because we're seeing you weekly, and not a lot of change is happening. And so, there's fear in telling people you don't know. And then there's fear in learning new things, and how do I implement it, and can I implement it? And I think my biggest fear was like jumping into a whole different world. Like I was, almost 30 years old as I began this journey. And we were so entrenched in softball from the time we were 8. Like we've been in that world for our whole life. And then, like, I mean, you can relate to this too. Like you're now in the production and the media world, and
Yeah.
you didn't grow up in that world. And so you kind of found your way into it, but there's still like a scary factor of like, do I belong here? Because
Yeah.
the world we've been in, we only knew, like, so we never really gone outside of that comfort zone. So for me, like,
Mm-hmm.
asking questions of strength coaches, or starting to take some certifications, or look into things, or read manuals, or then start programming, you're like, oh, do I really know what I'm doing? Or
Yeah.
and
Imposter
you've done,
syndrome.
yeah, exactly, that's exactly what, that was my struggle for a long time. Like, I'm a softball player, like that's what I am. I'm a softball pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
Am I really a strength person? So kind of evolving and looking at yourself from a different lens. And then the hardest thing, I think, too, is like the more you learn, the more you know you don't know. Like the more you
Yeah.
read, the
Yep.
more you're like, oh, I don't. And that's overwhelming, right? Like one
Mm-hmm.
rabbit hole, down 4 different rabbit holes.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
it's like hurts your
Yeah.
brain some.
Yeah. That's when you have to like take a deep breath.
I get like sometimes I get emails from friends who are like, hey, I'm kind of interested in what you're doing. Like, how do I do it? Time. Like,
Yeah, it is time.